for everybody to know? Okay, I know that the students are, they agree with the recording, and it will be a material for their own enjoyment after the session. So that's good. Let me introduce you our speaker today. That is Andrea Troncoso. That she was so keen to take over because Micah have to go to the German ministry. I'm supposed to talk about citizen science there. That is very good news for the German policy on open science. But she worked also in ECSA, that is the European Citizen Science Association, which is the most important European association about this topic in Europe. And also they exist different associations in Australia, in the US, that gather the people that they are interested in citizen science. She's a project officer in ECSA, and she has been working for the CTC in Europe, an incentive driven to foster CIT hubs in universities. I think this is a project that probably she can tell you more about it, because I'm not very familiar with the CIT hubs. But I think it's very interesting because it's exactly how it should be worked with citizen science in universities. And she has studied forestry and international development, and currently is very interested in storytelling and in education, and she has an amazing profile. So this is a privilege to have you here, and the floor is yours. Well, the screen is yours. Thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank you, Eva, for the invitation. I'm very happy that I got this very spontaneous opportunity to be here with you, and I am happy as well that you're in your 5th session. So I guess that you are already very knowledgeable in open science. So that makes me very happy, and I would love to share with you more, to learn from you. So yes, I am Andrea Troncoso, and I would start this presentation asking you what comes to your mind when you hear the word citizen science. So I will show you a couple of images, and then I will ask you to let me know in the chat which of these images you would relate to citizen science. So these images will come up one by one, and then I will show them all together, so don't worry. So this is one, another one, this is another one. Eva, do you hear some background noise?
Yeah, somebody may have the microphone open, so please close the microphones.
No, it might be me, so I will have to ask my neighbor to speak a little bit lower.
No worries, no worries.
Is it bothering, or it's okay? You can hear me properly?
It's fine. We can hear you properly.
Okay. So I've been showing these pictures. So I shared with you 9 pictures, and please have a look at them again and tell me in the chat which of these pictures you would relate to citizen science. Okay, some people say all of them. 3, 6, 9, 5. Yeah, grade 5, 9. Okay, all of them, all of them. Great, thank you. Yeah, it's true. All of them are related to citizen science. So, and I will explain you why this broad concept really involves all of these activities, and it's a really rich approach that I will share with you. Just a second, I will ask my neighbor. It's very close. I will come back.
This is pure real-time, direct presentation in online working.
Okay. Thank you. So, as I said to you, all of these pictures are depicting different activities and projects related to citizen science. So, as Eva said, I am part of the ECSA team, the European Citizen Science Association, which is a membership association, was created in 2014, and we advocate for the growth of citizen science in Europe mainly, but we are linked with organizations all over the world, and we do this advocacy through EU projects, through other projects that are not financed by the EU, but they are important for us as an association, and we encourage the research on citizen science, and we also organize workshops, events, and a biannual citizen science conference. On the right side of the screen, you will see all these projects that we are currently involved in, and if you want to know more, please go to our website, which is there. You will get, of course, this presentation. A very important thing, what I will present to you, it's part of online training courses that are in the European Citizen Science platform, and they are for free. So if you want to deepen the concepts, we will really do an overview of this landscape, but you can go further and really learn a lot by registering on the online platform that I will show you later, and then you can get all these contents and more in the training courses. And mainly the topics that I will cover now are developed in the Introduction to Citizen Science course and the Typology course, which was developed by Muki Haklay and his team in UCL, University College London. I will share some stories because this citizen science is really, it has a long history, and we could say that it began here. Like if we track it back in time, we can really see traits of citizen science within the courts, the diary courts, court diaries, in Kyoto, that were tracking the blossoming of the cherry trees. So the cherry blossom is the sakura is an important cultural event in Japan, and it has been tracked, and so it has been recorded since the year 850. And really tracking and looking at those data reveals information about the climate change. So we can really say that this could be a starting point. Another historical fact, and that we can say it's related to citizen science, is the work that William Wheel did in the 1800s. And he was really, with the help of many people that he contacted via letters and also receiving letters, he got tides observations, and he really created a tide observation network. And he was the first person, he's acknowledged to be the first person that speaks about this word scientist. So the person who develops science or develops a scientific work. And he made this map with the help of more than 600 people around the world. This is Mary Anning, and this lady with her dog Trey was also in the 18th century collecting information about fossils that are now at the Natural History Museum in London. And unfortunately, she wasn't very recognized and acknowledged during her time. It took a long time to really recognize her as a scientist, because she was not trained, because she was a woman. And in that time, the Royal Geological Society was very close. And but now, if you go there, there is a huge picture of her. This painting is there, and really her work has been acknowledged in the recognition of fossils. And there isn't even a film. So this is you can watch the trailer there, and she really made a big contribution. So all these are historical inputs for the history of citizen science. Then citizen science got like a step up with the International Geophysical Year. That's in the history an important point, because with the launch of the Sputnik, the first artificial satellite from the Smithsonian Observatory, they contacted citizens to help the observation. So Fred Whipple is acknowledged as one of the scientists that really made this connection. We need non-scientists or non-academic people to help us collect data to enrich our observations. So they were moon watchers around the world and also satellite watchers around the world, and really they discovered that this was a great source of data and that otherwise it would be impossible to get. So if we really can make a graphic of historical important moments, we can see here, this is a summary, that there are three main points. So the early science before the 1800s, then the professional science between the 1800s and the 1900s, and since the 2000s, it's another kind of science that we are living in. And this has a lot to do with the access to education, and as you see here. In the mid-1990s, the concept of citizen science started to really get shaped as a concept, and especially after the book of this Alan Irwin, Citizen Science. So it was really the scientists that took the idea of involving people from outside the academia in scientific research. And why now? We have discovered that there are some important trends that had enabled the rise of citizen science. And these ones are basically in two main types, so societal trends and technological trends. And the societal trends have to do with, as I said, the access to education and qualification, the amount of hours that we dedicate to work, which is less than before, and we have more time for leisure. And in that leisure time, we want to get involved in other activities, and then there's a space for citizen science. Longevity and healthy aging is also a trend, and that's been recognized as important, because people want to do something meaningful with their free time when they go into the rent. So for this period of times that they are free, they want to do something really meaningful, and they get involved in these kind of projects. Also, peer review systems and the emergence of open science has contributed to the rise of our field. And of course, technological trends are very important. The access to internet, the quality of mobile devices and the advance in technology there, the collaborative way, the development of sensors and DIY electronics are all important ingredients for the rise of citizen science. And of course, open science, the topic of this course, because with the better information and communication technologies, and the concerns about societal challenges, people want to get involved in science. And really, science is or a lot of people involved in science, researchers, scientists, and institutions want to broaden the concept of excellence and who is participating in the construction of knowledge. So what is citizen science? I will provide you with a very broad concept that will help us to see what entails the whole field. So we will for now we will coin the term as a term that describes a wide range of activities where people from different walks of life participate in a scientific project and in a meaningful way. And by meaningful way, I'm meaning they are not only subjects being studied in a medical experiments or participating in a study of social science. Their involvement, it's much more. And I will show you examples now about this kind of involvement. There is a concept that is very linked to citizen science, which is crowdsourcing. And it means a way to engage a very large number of people in a project. And people is also in this case like a synonym of data. So I engage people, I get information, data, and this is a crowdsource because it's a lot of people. And this term appeared in 2006 in the Wired magazine, and it was developed by Jeff Howe, he came up with this term, and this term really stayed there. And I will now show you some pictures that are part of the first sequence of pictures that I shared with you, and I will mention diverse fields and kind of projects that are involved in citizen science. So this is one of the fields where mainly you might be familiar to linking citizen science with biodiversity and ecology, because these ecological observations have really profit from the involvement of citizens in it. And in the UK, for example, there are several projects running, and the amount of data is involving more than 1 million people yearly. Meteorology is also another field where volunteers contribute with their observations, and they even are involved in the installation of automatic weather stations in their locations, and they keep track, they take care of these stations, and they also provide with data. And archaeology, this is a field that since a long time they are also relying on the help of different people in helping to locate sites or gathering information from specific sites. In this slide, I am showing that there are like fields or the areas within citizen science where we can really locate types of projects. So we just saw the ecology, meteorology, and archaeology examples, and they could fit in a category called long-running citizen science, and it has to do with the span of the project and like the domain. And now I will share with you some examples from the category that we can call citizen cyber science, and that involves these three project types: volunteer computing, when you are part of sensing and giving data with a program that you download in your computer, and you provide data in this way, especially very used in climate predictions and climate related projects. The other one is called volunteer thinking, and it's related to helping scientists to for example, to categorize or to see what are you watching at certain points in time. So this is for biodiversity. Cameras are installed in a park, and then you can help tracking what is happening and what do you see and describing. So giving more fine information to the scientists involved. And the other one is called passive sensing, where you download a software or you get some sensors connected to your computer, and you are also providing data while the computer is not in use. You are doing nothing, but the sensor is tracking whatever you are doing or related to a specific project. So Quake Catcher is, for example, used and attached to computers and providing detailed seismographic observations. And then the other big area is community science, where we have this kind of projects involved, like participatory sensing. So citizens providing data while using a specific device for example, tracking air pollution. DIY science, it involves different kinds of citizens in projects that involve a lab. For example, there are city labs, and they are located in the middle of the city center, and you are researching antibiotics or DNA, and it really brings people together and show how curious we are, and we are also, of course, getting data and generating information. And also DIY in civic science relates to the fact that this data can really inform and provide with evidence for different challenges that a community is experiencing. So then you can provide this to the council, or you can make get attention from the authorities in different ways so you can really raise up important concerns for a community, like this one. As I said, the state of air quality is a very well-known type of project that works, and it has been replicated in several cities in the world. So here is a summary of the types of citizen science project that I shared with you, related to domain, to the technology we're using, and to the type of participation. And I think that I'm showing this slide because one of the aims was to relate citizen science with public engagement in the paradigm and in the framework of responsible research and innovation. And I think that I've provided with these several examples, and you can clearly see the way you can get connected with citizens, and how citizens can really have a very important level of engagement in the projects and in this knowledge construction together. Now, what I will talk about is briefly about the level of participation, and some documents are very important to understand this field. So I provided you with a very broad definition, and I've also showed you that different activities using different technologies in different science fields for a different period of time, with different kinds and numbers of participants, and of course with different outputs and outcomes, are all citizen science. And this also constitutes a challenge of so what is it and what is it not? It's not. So coming together with a consensus and a broad definition that helps everyone understanding this has been a challenge that has been tackled by different groups and in different continents as well. And we have come together and agree that a kind of typology is needed to better comprehend the landscape and to really grasp the common characteristics that citizen science has in different parts of the world. So we can really establish a common ground from where move forward in terms of theory and future research. This work really starts with the work of Sherry Arnstein, who in the 60s made a classification called the participation ladders, that they have evolved from there, but she was really keen on learning and understanding how publics participate and the different levels, like a very basic level where they are just providing something, not really data or information, but not really involved and not really conscious of the impact of that, up to where they are designing a specific study or research, and they are really involved in this in all the stages of analysis and decision making. So that was like what she said, that's really a very high level of participation and engagement. So based on this, there has been several proposals for participation models in citizen science, and I will show you only one. You can get more in these courses that I mentioned at the beginning, but the one I'm sharing with you, it was developed by Muki Haklai, and it's a 4-level category or ladder, going from the level 1, where, as I said, crowdsourcing, the citizens are mainly like a sensor and they are providing data, up to, so with 2 other different levels, up to the extreme citizen science. And Muki Haklai has a group in the University College London that it's called ECSA, that means extreme citizen science. And by that, we are really thinking of a very collaborative science where citizens or non-academic people are involved in the problem definition, in the data collection, and the analysis, and of course how to use that information in different contexts that direct influence them or impact them. So the way that typologies provide information is really helping us in understand the field of citizen science and the type of projects that are there, and also they demonstrate that it's a complex field that provides many opportunities for further research and for understanding. And it's more, we don't want to narrow the definition. We really want to expand the way we understand it. And for this, there are two core documents which are available in our website and in this platform that I mentioned before. So the 10 principles of citizen science was a really a common work between many people. And some years ago, we reached a consensus that there be 10 principles that should be part of what citizen science is. And these principles vary, but I will just share one with you, or we read it together, and the rest I really invite you and encourage you to go and get the document, because they are very sensible things, but sometimes we don't think of them, and it's important to have them present when we are developing an idea, for example, or running a project. So the first principle, which is of course very important as the 10, but we start with this, stating that citizens should that involve in the are actively involved as citizens in these scientific projects, and these scientific projects really generate new knowledge or understanding. So citizens may act as contributors, as collaborators, even as project leaders, and they should have a meaningful role in any citizen science project. So like this, we have, I could mention another one, like citizen scientists are acknowledged in the project results and the publication. So that's another principle, and so on. The rest I will leave it to you to explore. And the characteristics of citizen science, it's a 4-page document that wants to, in prose, explain what is citizen science about. And it's divided in 5 main sections. So you will get information about the core concepts related to citizen science, the disciplinary aspects, some thoughts about leadership and participation, the financial aspects of citizen science, how you get funding for this, and data and knowledge, how do you deal with this, with data and knowledge in a citizen science project. So I would like to invite you to think together, because for getting these characteristics, there was a study deployed, and many people answered some questions about saying, is this citizen science or not? And for this, there will be a link in the chat, and you will get 5 minutes and distribute it in 7 groups. So you get a number, I guess. So group 1 goes to slide 1 in this link. So the link has 7 cases. I will share with you what you get. So this is what you will see in the link. 7 different slides. Each slide is a little story about a citizen science project or activity or something related to citizen science. And the question, so each group goes to 1 slide, and the same slide of the number of your group. And there, please read your case, your story, and decide together, is this citizen science? Would you call it citizen science or not? And for that, we will have 5 minutes, and after the time, we will come back to the main room. Is that clear?
Yes, perfect. Just only a little reminder that the activities in the groups, in the chats, whatever they discuss, is not going to be recorded. So I will just break out in 7 groups of 5 people, including also moderators and all attendants. So that will be a lot of fun. And in 5 minutes is 11:35 and 11:40. We will come back. Okay, let's go.
Great.